What happened to the 2021 Underground? Oh my god, yo. Let's watch.
The 2021 Underground era has become one of the most iconic undergrounds these past few years, as that era was truly something special, and in my opinion, the closest that we'll ever get to the OG SoundCloud era, with artists like Ken Carson, Yeat, Soul Fago, SG Kobe, and Cash Dami, and more being the frontrunners of this era. And since the era did end 4 years ago, a lot of the artists from this era are at different points in their careers as of now, as some made it into the mainstream while others did fade away out of the spotlight, while others just got canceled because of allegations. But yeah, let's take a look at the state of some of the
I'm gonna let y'all niggas know. And this kind of sounds crazy, but in 2021, I did not listen to nobody except Young Chris and Autumn. I genuinely thought Young Chris was gonna be as big as I don't know, my nigga. I thought he was gonna be big, bro. Mainstream. I thought Young Chris was gonna be mainstream, my nigga. I seen SSG Kobe ass on 2K. Where are you? I gotta see this.
Artists from this era and look at where they're at in their careers in the big 2025. Alright, now starting off with Ken Carson, who has been one of the most successful artists from this era. Now, Ken Carson would have a slight advantage.
Him, Yeat, and Lone are the only niggas that made it out and that are mainstream now
Over all of these other artists on this list, because Ken would basically be tapped into.
And Babies, and well, he used to be Baby Santana, but Tana too. Only niggas that's mainstream. And Tana ain't really that mainstream, but niggas know who Tana is, though. Let's be real. He was on a Lyrical Lemonade. He was on a Lyrical Lemonade video, bro. He's low-key mainstream.
To a lot of rappers and producers at such a young age, with Ken having family ties with Southside, 808 Mafia. This dude Ken has been knowing Travis Scott ever since he was 13 years old, and he was also on stage with Cardi during his Die Lit tour, so that ultimately led Ken to having an easy gateway of making it big due to big connections, right? And also Ken would be the first to sign to Cardi's label Opium, and immediately after being signed, Ken would drop his Teen X EP during summer 2020 and start to gain buzz in the ATL rap scene, and also being seen with Cardi a lot, especially during the Whole Lotta Red rollout, which obviously did lead to Ken gaining more recognition. And then 2021 would be Ken's breakout year, dropping Teen X, Relapse, which honestly, bro, looking back on it, was such a good ass EP. And the song Highest Shit off of this EP would start going crazy as well. And basically from there, everyone was waiting for Ken's debut album being signed to Opium, and that summer Ken would deliver with Project X. And now, yo, when this album dropped,
Project X and Extended are his best projects. And also A Great Chaos. We're not gonna act like A Great Chaos ain't changed a lot of shit. Project X, Extended, and especially Extended holds a place in my heart for real. Cause I feel like that's the best. That is the best era of that nigga, bro. Yes, I said it. That is his best era. 2023 Ken was the best version of Ken Carson. Niggas have their opinions. That's just mine, though.
Everyone knows where they were when Project X dropped, bro. It was such a iconic album and iconic album cover from that year's Underground, bro. Honestly, in my opinion, the best Underground album from that year. But yeah, this is when I first personally tapped into Ken, like a lot of people did at that time period, right? And with the Rage sound growing in popularity, it did definitely shock me for sure. And yo, this album was such a short and concise album, bro, and honestly, in my opinion, has no misses. Songs like Rock and Roll and Run Plus ran would blow up on TikTok and just lead to Ken being a more solidified name in the music industry. And with Cardi not dropping his shit, it was only making Ken grow bigger and bigger, right? Because obviously, if Cardi isn't dropping, people's focus are gonna be on the next Cardi, aka Ken. Around this time, as the 2021 Underground was booming, Ken would be seen a lot with his peers, like guys like Fago, Yeat, and after the success of Project X, Ken would open up for Cardi for for his King Vamp tour. And he'd also signed with Interscope that next year, 2022, and he dropped X, which is to this day one of my favorite overall albums of all time. And he'd also go on his first headlining tour, that being his X-Men tour, and he'd also have a little beef with Can, which I thought was pretty funny. He'd also drop his Lost Files EPs on his SoundCloud, and that next year, 2023, would be Can's breakout year. And honestly, at that point, Can was borderline mainstream, and the A Great Chaos album rollout was teased, which honestly was a very good album rollout. To this day is a absolute opium classic, and it also did sell 50k first week, which shocked everyone. Can would basically be the opium savior with Cardi not dropping. And like, bro, the amount of hits that actually were birthed off of this.
Holy shit, yo! I'm not gonna lie to y'all. A Great Chaos inspired me to start content, bro. I swear it did, because I was like amazed on how good this shit was, and then I see niggas react to the album, and I was feeling the same way, and I'm like, damn, I could do this shit too. This shit, I can relate to these niggas. I was watching Dabo and Max. I was like, they really feel how I'm feeling about this shit. Boom! Started making videos on a Chromebook.
This album and the Great Chaos Deluxe, bro, are insane. And this year in the big 2025, Can is not.
A Great Chaos did get gentrified, but we not gonna act like that shit wasn't crazy. First year it dropped. We not gonna act like the first couple months it was out, that wasn't the best shit. That was off the Wake Up. I was listening to A Great Chaos off the Wake Up, nigga. For months, listening to that shit off the Wake Up. Yeah, bro. Ken had it in 2023. Ken got it.
Slowing down at all, as he would drop More Chaos back in April, which unfortunately didn't get the best overall perceptions from fans. It still went number 1, and it also did sell more than A Great Chaos. So yeah, Ken is still no question relevant. And yeah, Ken is definitely one of the biggest artists to this day from this 2021 underground era. And another artist from this era who did blow up alongside Ken is obviously Destroy Lonely Top Floor Boss. Now, Lone would obviously have a similar come up to Ken Carson, being from ATL and also having family ties with big names in the industry, with his father being I-20, who is very close to the absolute rap legend Ludacris. And he would be making music since 2015, almost 10 years, growing his fan base with early projects and
Black Fit, that's the perfect attire.
Gaining buzz like Ken in the ATL scene with producers like Clayco and Nezis, which Clayco definitely Lone's most iconic producer. I'm like, Lone and Clayco are seriously the modern day Cardi and Pierre, or modern day Cardi and Filthy. Literally unstoppable, bro. And after gaining buzz in 2020, Lone would drop his album Broken Hearts, which is now seen as a very iconic project.
No, bro, that's literally top 5 albums in Opium for sure.
Hearts and the Deluxe are absolute classics, with Lone even working on a Broken Hearts 3, which I will get into. And he'd also drop absolute classics in this year, that being a song Bane, which would go unnoticed at first until that next year. This song would definitely be key to Lone, blowing up. And now Cardi, who's obviously tapped into the ATL scene, would reach out to Lone after seeing his Oh Yeah music videos. And so yeah, every underground artist out there, bro, put yourself out there, bro. Don't be mysterious, bro. You never know who is watching for real. If Lone never put out this video, he probably would have never gotten signed to Opium in the first place. And speaking of being signed, Lone would be signed in early 2021, and then 2021 would low-key be a quiet year for Lone in terms of music, but his song Bane would go crazy on TikTok with this catchy melody and super catchy beat, bro. Like, this shit hard, bro. And he also dropped a few singles, a SoundCloud EP, and also opened for Cardi for his King Vamp tour. And also during the 2021 Underground, Lone was kind of quiet and compared to the other big names on this list. But I did have to mention Lone, because he was still somewhat relevant during this era, right? But that next year, 2022, would be Lone's breakout year, dropping his long-awaited album No Styles, which is in my opinion,
I was a freshman when this shit dropped, bro. What the fuck? Oh my God, this shit went platinum.
Of the best overall albums that actually has dropped these past few years, and is honestly tied as the best overall Opium album with The Great Chaos and Whole Lotta Red. And yeah, this album has most of Lone's best work ever. When this project dropped, people were seriously calling Lone the next Cardi, and he'd go on his first headlining tour, drop If Looks Could Kill, which wouldn't get the best overall perceptions from fans, but it would sell over 20.
Niggas was talking so much shit when The Looks Could Kill dropped. But then, now niggas want that sound back because, what was it? Love Lasts Forever was mid. Yes, I said it. Love Lasts Forever was not that good. So niggas wanted that old sound back. They wanted the Looks Could Kill back. They said there was too much guitar beats. I remember, I was there, nigga. They was saying there was too much guitar beats and shit. Now they want that back. I want that back. Shit. Hope, bro, Broken Hearts 3 gonna be like crazy though. Cause if you heard that EP on SoundCloud recently, I have high hopes for Broken Hearts 3. That shit gonna be a classic.
20K, which did make Lone somewhat mainstream. And yeah, Lone would drop a hit song every year. Like last year, Love Lasts Forever was such a underrated project, right? As it did sell above 30K. And yeah, Lone hasn't fallen off, bro. I feel like people do say Lone's washed, Lone's this, Lone's that, just because he did change his sound. But this new album, Broken Hearts 3, is apparently Lone going back to his old sound.
He's not even washed. I think it's just his beat selection for real. It's his beat selection. That's it. It's just his beat selection. I really just think it's his beat selection. Whoever's producing his shit now, no. What's that nigga's name? La 88? What's that nigga's name, bro? I forgot the producer's name. La 88. Yeah, bro. This Lil 88 nigga is he's only a good producer for Ken. He can't produce shit good for Lone. I'm sick of this nigga, bro. He can only produce good for Ken. Once he gets rid of Lil 88's ass, or if Lil 88 can make fucking good beats for Lone, we might be good.
That is gonna go crazy. But yeah, Lone is at a good spot in his career. He obviously isn't as big as Ken, but I feel like this year can be a very good year for Lone if he does stay consistent. And now moving on to SoFaygo, who is, no matter how many years or months go by with no new Faygo music, he's still always gonna be somewhat relevant. And now Faygo would have success early on, as he actually would basically be making music all of his life, dropping a few EPs from 2018, changing his name to SoFaygo in 2019, which obviously would be a life-changing decision. And which this year I actually did just re-listen to everything that Faygo dropped in this year, and oh my gosh, there isn't even a single bad song that Faygo did drop in this year, which honestly goes to show that Faygo has been having talent from such a young age, which is so fire, bro. And he would also gain hella buzz in that year 2019, dropping his debut album War, and he'd also be discovered by Taz Taylor of Internet Money, and also be offered to sign to Internet Money Records as well, which Faygo did decline. But in 2020, Faygo would go on an absolute run, dropping insane albums like Angelic 7, which would include the absolute hit song Knock Knock. This song would be crucial for Faygo blowing up that next year. But 2020 Faygo would be working with artists like SG Kobe, dropping bangers, working with Dazo, beefing with Slay World, which I thought was pretty funny.
We ever gonna get a Slay and Faygo collab?
And his album After Me would drop in that year, which would include his hit song Off the Map, which would go crazy because of the rage sound, again being super prominent in those years because of Cardi, Trippie, Uzi, etc. And that next year, 2021, because of Faygo's insane growth, he would be signed to
remember it used to have Bruce as the outro? It used to have Bruce shit as the outro, bruh.
The Scott's Cactus Jack. And basically after Faygo did get that insane bag from Travis being signed to Cactus Jack, he wouldn't drop as much consistently as he once did. But basically that entire 2021, Faygo wouldn't drop shit. But it also would be the year that Faygo would break out like crazy. If Faygo did end up dropping an album in this year, bro, I could only imagine his career would be in a whole different state. But this year would be big for Faygo with the song Knock Knock blowing up on TikTok. And if you guys do notice a trend, a lot of the artists from this era would have their hit songs going crazy on TikTok. But this year, 2021, Faygo would just drop one song, that being Let's Lose Our Minds. And he also wouldn't drop his debut album till 2022 with Pink Hearts, which would low-key underperform, as it did drop in late 2022. But this album is still a absolute banger, bro. But then that next year, Faygo would low-key silence the haters with Go Plus, and that was a very good project. Since then, Faygo has yet to drop a project, as his last few projects did end up being leaked, but for the most part has been pretty inconsistent, which did lead to a lot of his peers surpassing him, like Lone, Kanye, etc.
He really just does not drop enough, bro. If he drops enough, if he starts being more consistent, obviously the nigga gonna go more up. Come on, bro.
It does seem like Faygo is making making a comeback with his new song Don't Hold the Fire being amazing, and also with Fago being on Jack Boys 2 and with Jack Boys 2 dropping soon, it does seem like this year will hopefully be the year that Fago finally goes mainstream. Along with Fago, another very talented artist in this era is SSG Kobe. Now, 2021, Kobe, Fago, and Ken Carson were my personal favorite go-to underground rappers in this era. And Kobe's sound was super.
For me, because I didn't find out about Lone or Ken till like 2022, 23. I was in like late 7th grade, 8th grade. Young Chris, Yeet, Autumn. And then I found out Summers like 2023. But Young Chris, Yeet, Autumn. And Coach Ice. Or Coachies. Young Chris, Yeet, Autumn, and Coachies. Only niggas I was listening to, bro.
Super and unique from everyone in this era, being very melodic.
Oh, and Cash
Kobe
Dami
in his songs would literally hit the craziest high notes with his music, bro, which I thought was so cool. Kobe would start making music in 2016 as he would gain buzz from like 2018 to 2020, gaining buzz with his EPs and his like early hits with Sound Design, Nurse, FNF, and his songs with Fago. And I was just re-listening to all of these songs that Kobe and Fago had on SoundCloud, and oh my gosh, I definitely wish that we could have gotten a collab tape between the both of them. And now 2021 would obviously be the breakout year for Kobe, and that would be with this EP Cole, which would have this song on there called Again, which is probably my favorite Kobe song of all time. The rest of the year he would not slow down whatsoever, as in that summer he would drop his song Thrax, which would go crazy on TikTok, and also MIA as well, which also would have a Cole Bennett video. And that whole year 2021 would be insane for Kobe, bro. Everything that Kobe was dropping in this year would be insane. Same with 2022 as well. That song Don't Miss, that song was like trippy bang. Towards the end of 2022, Kobe would change his like sound, being less melodic, being like less singing, and having a more darker theme, which I was looking with, but a lot of fans were just missing that OG initial Kobe sound. But at the end of 2022, Kobe would get hit with some unfortunate allegations, which would turn out to be like false. But these allegations would lead to Kobe being dropped from his like label, losing his
God, them allegations really ruined that nigga career, which is crazy because Autumn ass is still roaming around, and he really did do that shit. Like, wait, no, because Autumn ain't get hit. I think did Kobe get hit with grape? I don't think Autumn got hit with grape. He was just getting caught. He's still getting caught talking to young girls and shit. But Kobe, I think he got hit with grape.
Momentum. These allegations would lead to Kobe being dropped from his life.
Oh shit. What really happened? Did he get hit with grape?
Like label, losing his momentum as well, which sucks to see. But also this wouldn't stop Kobe, as he'd still be like dropping consistently. And obviously Kobe isn't as big as he once was, but it is still cool to see Kobe dropping consistently and happy again. And also some of the like songs that Kobe has been dropping as of late have been super solid, and it does seem like Kobe is working on a comeback, as he is back in contact with Fago, which is so good to see. And he is about to drop his next album, that being No Place Like Home, which I can only imagine isn't have a Fago feature. But Kobe is such a genuine like dude, bro, and he's still so young, right? So I definitely wish the best for Kobe. Another artist who came up working with Kobe and Fago is none other than Tana, also known as Baby Santana. And Tana would basically blow up as the 14-year-old rapper who came out of nowhere, blowing up on TikTok. And Tana would blow up in like 2020 during quarantine with songs like Prada, 14 with Cash Dami. And these songs were seriously everywhere during TikTok.
Bro, I was like 12 years old. I was like, how the fuck this nigga 2 years older than me and he's on a Lyrical Lemonade vid? This is some shit. You know when niggas was like, yo, comparison is the thief of joy? I was pissed off. How are you 14 doing this shit? I'm like a year younger than this nigga. A year, 2 years younger than this nigga. How are you on Lyrical Lemonade? That shit used to fry me back then. I'm like, yo, how is this nigga doing this shit this young?
quarantine. But obviously 2021 would be the breakout year for Tana, with none other than the song Antisocial with Slump 6S dropping, which
Antisocial
is probably
changed my
one
life.
of the
I think that
most
was the first thing that got me into underground shit. It was either Tada by Booth or Antisocial for sure. It had to have been that.
iconic songs from that era. And then Antisocial 2 as well, with like Kobe, Zulo, Fazo. And those next few years, Tana would be very consistent, dropping hits those like, you know, next few years, like Prada with Tekka, Off the Leash with Young Chris and Zulo. And he also signed to Tekka's Galactic Records, which is low-key one of the best labels to sign to as of now, because Tekka is going crazy right now. The music that Tana is dropping nowadays is actually some of the best in the underground. I did see him open up for Tekka last year, and I was the only person in the crowd who knew his fucking tracks. But yeah, man, shout out to Tana, and his album Bana last year was also insane as well. And yeah, obviously Tana hasn't.
I don't know if it's just me. I did not like Bana, bro. I did not like Bana. I tried to react to it, and I was just like, yo, what am I listening to, my nigga? I did not like Bana.
Had that big hit since Antisocial, but I feel like he's still very underrated. But hey man, shout out to Tana, bro. Another artist who was working very closely with Tana is Dami. And now, hey bro, Prime Dami was an absolute beast, and his career has been an interesting one, because Dami never had any allegations or like anything that caused his downfall, right? So yeah,
he just never changed his flow. This nigga still raps like this. Like, he still raps like he rapped in 2021. You gotta do some different shit. You gotta get different beats. You gotta switch your shit. He didn't do nothing, bro.
downfall has always been a mystery to many. But yeah, man, Dami has been making music ever since he actually was a kid. And that verse being with the song Capping Up, which I had no clue was Dami up until now, bro. Like, he literally sounds so different. But yeah, man, this song would actually go crazy on TikTok. And his album 16 and Cash Don't Miss would build buzz in 2020. And he'd also collab with Tana on the song 14, which would blow up and also get a Cole Bennett video as well. But in 2021 would obviously be Dami's breakthrough year, and that being with the song Preparations. Literally a absolute classic. And yo, one thing about Dami that made him stand out from everyone else is bro was dropping 1-minute tracks, which obviously made the song more replayable, and his album Epiphany would also be very impressive.
One of the best albums from that year. I'll stand on that. This shit still hits. I don't give a fuck what niggas say. This is his best album. This is the best music that nigga has ever dropped. Best album he's ever dropped.
Obviously made the song more replayable, and his album Epiphany would also be very impressive as well, including features from guys like Tana, Chris, Kobe, and yeah, this album was definitely one of the best from that era in my opinion. I low-key liked his album Hypernova better, which did drop later like that year, bro. That album was such a banger, bro. Goddamn, bangers like Public, Intermission, Headshot with like Trippy, bro. Yo, as soon as I did hear this album, I seriously thought that Dami was gonna be the next big thing. And after 2021, 2022 would again be a solid year for Dami, but he wasn't obviously in the spotlight like the year before, which obviously did lead to people saying that Dami fell off. Now, I honestly think people just got bored of his sound, as it was kind of repetitive, and a lot of his songs did kind of sound the same. And he also would not drop anything in 2023, which would kind of hurt the momentum that was built up. But he would come back with his album Oasis last year, which would underperform in comparisons to Epiphany, and just wasn't loved by fans. I mean, it did have a few, you know, good songs, but just overall was not it. But I feel like Dami isn't just taken seriously like he was back in 2021, right? I do gotta say, he did have that one song, Love My Glock, last year, which, yo, I was replaying like crazy. But yeah, man, shout out to Dami. And I obviously want to mention Slay World as a whole, who were all booming during this era. If you guys don't know, Slay World was a rap group with Summers, Autumn, Can, and more. I don't want to get too deep into their...
Wasn't TG and Slay World? This nigga not gonna say TG? Wasn't TG in Slay World? Isn't he? I don't know the lore. We might have to watch the Slay World lore video soon, because I don't.
Or because it is definitely a long one for sure. But Summers is low-key doing the best out of all of these guys. Summers is just one of those rappers who's always gonna have that core fan base. And yeah, since 2018,
why did I used to think Autumn was better than Summers? I may have been just too young. I found out this nigga was way better than Autumn for like 2 years now. He's way better. I should have known that shit from the jump, but it is what it is.
He has been one of the hottest in the hip-hop underground. And yeah, I obviously don't see Summers, you know, going...
I feel like if Raven's good, if his next shit, I don't know, because his last... His last shit was called Before the Raven. Yeah, so if Raven's good, he could go mainstream off Raven.
Mainstream because I feel like his sound is so niche, but again, if he can't go mainstream, then why can't Summers? And Summers has low-key been on a run this past year, and he also did have a low-key hit last year, that being a song Marble Floors, so shout out to Summers. And now moving on to Autumn. Autumn has been at a very interesting point in his
bro. His music gets progressively worse every time he gets an allegation. I'm not fucking with this nigga. I don't like him no more, for real. I hardly bump him, but man, do I miss his old shit bad. This was one of the rappers I was bumping daily. It's sad, but like, you know what you doing, my nigga. Stop fucking with them last girls. It shouldn't even be a damn question we should talk about. We shouldn't even be telling you this. Nigga, you're about to be 30. That's what really blew me. This nigga's like 28. Bro, hold on. This nigga's really like 28 years old. He's 26. You're fucking with bitches that are 10 years younger than you? What are you doing?
Career, I mean, he still has that like massive fan base like Summers, but if you guys don't know, he did have allegations in late 2023 which have to this day ruined any chances of Autumn going mainstream. I mean, he is still dropping hits, I won't lie, and he also was recently beefing with Jace, which was like so funny because every time Autumn would diss Jace would like be like, hey Autumn, don't you fuck with minors. That shit was crazy, bro. Also Can 2, I haven't heard of in a minute, bro, but yo, his run back in like 2021 was insane. That album Double R was fire back in the day. At this point, Can doesn't focus on his music like that much. I mean, obviously he does have his clothing brand, that being Double R.
His clothes are hard as shit though,
and that's paying his bills. So yeah, he's definitely chilling. Autumn and Summers are doing their thing. I mean, they haven't like fallen off. None of them have fallen off. I mean, but I'm definitely hyped to see what's next for them in this year. Last but not least, we have to mention Yee, and now Yee is easily the biggest artist on this list.
He's
and
the only
also
rapper
his
to
come up
perform at the
is
Sphere,
also
bro. That
super
should tell you
fascinating
enough,
as
my
well.
nigga.
And
Yee
now
is the
Yee
best
would actually,
2021
be making music
underground
for a
rapper.
hot minute since the
Biggest
Elevator
come up.
era, which was a platform that artists used to promote their music. And
He
like
had
I'm
the
pretty
biggest come up. He had the biggest come up from 2021 out of every nigga. Out of every nigga, he had the biggest come up. I'm trying to think. Did Ken and Lone have a bigger come up? No. He locked in with Drake. He performed at the Sphere. Yeah, Yee had the biggest come up of all time, for sure. Of all time.
pretty sure X even posted his songs on this platform as well. And yeah, also Yeat's music did sound way different than it did now.
It was the bells,
then. And now
bro,
Yeat
the
would
bells
actually
that the
first
niggas
gain
turned on,
traction
bro.
in 2020 with his early projects, but that
It was
next
the
year,
bells.
2021, would be the year that Yeat would take over, and that would be with this song Get Busy. And now with the rage sound taking over, this song went crazy. And yeah, this song basically blew up for one particular reason, that being him adding a bell on this song. And basically from there, Yeat would gain hella traction, and his album Up To Me would also go crazy in that year as well. And yeah, basically in that year,
Best underground album of that year. No, fuck that. Best album of that year. Best album of that year. Who dropped in 2021? Nothing for real. Cardi ain't dropped. Best album of the year. That's album of the year, 2021.
With
album
a
of the
lot
year.
of other underground rappers from this era as well, like Autumn, Can, Summers of Slay World. And yeah, basically Yeat was basically a part of this group, and he'd also be seen with Ken Carson a lot too, which yeah, as of now in the big 2025, Ken and Yeat are on the best of terms, which yeah, thanks to Lil 88. Andy would be on best of terms, which yeah, thanks to Lil.
Stop comparing my partners to this Eminem with auto-tune and reverb. What the fuck?
88, and he would be on a insane run from 2021 to 2022. And honestly, bro, in my opinion, bro, this is still Yeat's best era. And he'd also get so many mainstream cosigns in this, like, you know, time period, right? Like Drake, Gunna, Thugger, and he'd seriously be the fastest artist to go mainstream in this 2021 underground era. Like, bro, 2 Alive was a absolute classic. Since then, Yeat would be on a very consistent run. And like, bro, it's so hard for Yeat to miss with his albums. Yeat seriously has one of like the most consistent discographies, and yeah, every year he would drop multiple, you know, projects expanding his sound. Like, for example, last year he did drop 2093, which was
ass. 2093 is ass.
on some more futuristic rave type of shit, which was obviously different from Yeat's past projects, and he would kind of divert from that original rap sound and move to more rave shit. And yeah, since then he has definitely become a absolute superstar, and yeah, easily the biggest out of this era, bro. And yeah, I feel like his sound definitely aged well for sure. But yeah, man, that is gonna conclude the 2021 underground era, bro. Man. And yo, in the comments down below,
I wish he would have talked more about Young Chris, because Young Chris run was insane. Like, we should have talked about that. Like, that nigga did not miss at all for at least 2 years. 2-3 years. He did not miss. Like, at all. Damn. Yeah, Young Chris was oh my god, he was supposed to be up there, bro. Fuck. It is what it is, though. It is what it is.